accelerated lab lessons. Accelerated lab lessons are a unique way of doing lessons that we are excited to bring to the Greeley area. The purpose of this program is to address the number one problem that music students have, the difficulty of home practice. Most children dread home practice because it takes too much work. We simply don't have time in the lessons to drill those tough parts and get that practice repetition. It's true of most private lessons in studios and music schools across the U.S. There's just too much to do in 30 minutes or even a 45-minute lesson. In Flourish's Accelerated Lab, students get a whole 60 minutes every week to learn their songs in the lesson. Then when they go home, instead of trying to learn songs they didn't have time for in the lesson, they just get to play songs that they already know. Practice becomes much easier and more enjoyable. Both students and parents experience less frustration. Also, because there's more time in the lessons to learn new songs, students can move through their books faster. That's why we call it accelerated. Faster completion time means more excitement and motivation for kids, which is what we want. Accelerated lab lessons also allow students to be more self-directed and independent in their learning, which they really like. It grows students' confidence because they feel like I can learn music on my own. It ensures students have a true understanding of the material because they're forced to think for themselves. It's been shown to dramatically improve students' sight reading skills, which is one of the number one skills they need to learn music quickly. It comes with a built-in support system, as kids can make friends who are also musicians. And it also allows more time for creative activities, theory, oral skills, writing music, and more. And the best news is, it's the most affordable tuition rate that we offer. What do accelerated lab lessons look like? When you walk into the room, you will notice 4 digital pianos or guitars set up with headphones for each student. Yes, there are other kids in the room, but they're not learning together. They each work on their own material and learn at their own pace. The students know their routine. When they first arrive, they'll put on their headphones, pull out their books, and start working on songs from last week. When they're ready for the teacher to hear a song, they put up a green card. The teacher comes and listens, and if the student passes a song, they move on. After passing old songs, students will start working on new material. For new music, teachers will scaffold the steps to learning the song. So for example, maybe they first start working on the right hand. The student practices it, they put up the green card, pass that, and then do the left hand, then hands together. Before you know it, the whole song is learned. If there's an incorrect rhythm or something like that, the teacher will help them figure out how to fix it, then have them practice it again to solidify it. At any time, if a student needs help, they can put up their I have a question card, and the teacher will come work with them. The beauty is, the student learns the whole song under teacher supervision at the lesson. This is way better than trying to learn it at home by yourself, then coming back to the lesson, having to now fix mistakes and relearn it. Not only is that super frustrating, but it's also much more difficult and time-consuming to fix and relearn a piece, which slows down their learning and progress. When students go home after accelerated lessons, practice is much easier and more enjoyable because students are reviewing songs they already know and increasing speed. Because of that longer 60-minute lesson time, there's often extra time in the lesson to also do off-the-bench activities like working on theory worksheets or other musicianship skills, writing their own music, or doing mini performances for each other in the group. At Accelerated Lab, students get so much more done, which is motivating for the kids. Plus, the kids can make friends and have fun together during this group interaction periods. Will my child get enough personal attention? There is a misconception about accelerated lab style lessons that students don't get as much personal attention or less instruction time from the teacher than in a one-on-one lesson. I understand this concern because I used to think this way myself. I figured a group lesson for 60 minutes with 4 students would basically be equivalent to a 15-minute lesson for each student. There was no way I was going to offer this at Flourish because I only want to offer the highest quality lessons, and I figured this was kind of a rip-off for students. Then I had a revelation. The success of students in music lessons does not depend on how much time the teacher spends talking to the student. Students learn by doing the thing themselves, not just having someone tell them how to do it. So in fact, whether in private lessons or in the lab style lessons, student growth increases when the teacher talks less and allows the student more time to practice and master the skill. A well-taught private lesson should include just a little bit of teacher instruction, scaffolded at the pace the student needs, and then lots of time for students to discover and learn the skill for themselves. This is exactly what we do in the Accelerated Lab lessons, except that instead of having a teacher hovering over the child's shoulder watching them, the student gets to experiment on their own and master the skill while the teacher's working with a different student. Most students actually prefer this because there's less pressure to get it right immediately, and then they gain more confidence when they feel like they did it themselves. And whenever the student needs help, they can just put up their question card for the teacher. By having that practice time without the teacher watching them constantly, students also learn how to work independently and figure out small problems on their own. This really helps them at home practice when they don't have the teacher there. So when you combine that independence that's cultivated in the Accelerated Lab style lessons along with the longer lesson time itself, that 60 minutes, it really leads to exponential progress for a student. That's when I realized I had to offer Accelerated Lab lessons at Flourish, because not only could we help students make better progress, gain more confidence, and joy out of playing music, but we could also do it at a more affordable rate. A win-win. Can I come in more than once a week? You can absolutely enroll in our Accelerated Plus and come in for 2-hour-long lessons each week. This is great if you have a very motivated student who's really flying through their books and doesn't want to wait a whole week to pass their songs. Alternatively, if you have a student who has a really hard time practicing at home, 2 hours of accelerated lessons per week is also a great option, because even on weeks with no home practice, they'll still be making progress in lessons. That second hour of lessons comes at a discounted rate. Am I missing out on anything by taking accelerated lessons? You don't miss out on anything. You get everything in our K-12 program. All the recitals, the dress rehearsals, the achievement program. We've even had students prepare for RCM exams in the Accelerated Lab. Do I still get unlimited makeup credits? Yes! In fact, scheduling makeup lessons is even easier in Accelerated Lab because you can come to any other class that has an open slot in it, even if it's with a different teacher. You do need to contact the office to sign up for makeup with a different teacher because the student portal doesn't allow you to do it. Who are Accelerated Lab lessons for? Accelerated Lab is currently available for piano and guitar lessons from beginner to intermediate levels. Students in Accelerated need to be able to work semi-independently for a short amount of time, or have the motivation to learn how to work independently, which we can train in the lesson. If your child's not ready for that yet, then you might stick with the one-on-one lessons. What about when my child gets more advanced? When your child will benefit more from a one-on-one lesson due to getting to a more advanced level, we'll let you know, and we recommend at that point switching to a 45 or 60-minute private lesson. We hope this video has helped you understand a little bit more about our accelerated lessons. Contact our office today to find out about scheduling and costs and get signed up for Accelerated Lab lessons at Flourish. Contact us at 970-573-5856 or info@flourishmusicacademy.com. Happy music making!